We're rolling and the sound is speeding. Hi, welcome to another episode of This Week with Drew for Thursday, September 16th, 2021. What's going on? On today's episode, I am back in a band again, and the Yuck Yuck saga continues, or concludes. And also, I got a freestyle intro, hippity hop on the mic, cause you know he's Big Drew, creeping up to you from behind. Tickling feels nice. What? Okay, whatever. Hi, welcome to another episode of This Week with Drew for Thursday, September 16th, 2021. Oh, I didn't plug the piano in. That's okay. What's going on? How are you? How are you? I hope you're well. I hope you're getting adjusted. It's September. You know, when things go back to normal, we're starting our routines all over again. We're getting back into work. We finished our fall, our fall cleaning. We're getting everything ready for that winter season. We're starting to pickle our vegetables, and we're going to go for the last hunt of the season and dry out our meats. And I don't know, I'm saying like I'm a fucking voyageur. Jacques Cartier or fucking Giovanni Caboto. I hope that you're ready and you've dried out your meats and you've pickled your vegetables for the winter. It's September, bro. It's that new changeover. So hopefully, as the leaves fall, so do you. Let go of all your preconceived notions, and you as you move forward into winter, into the motherly womb of winter. Some fucking horoscope shit like that. Okay, hi. Thank you so much for listening or watching. If you're watching, of the 9 people who watch on YouTube, thank you so much. Okay, so on today's show, let's let the continuing saga. I didn't plug in the keyboard, so whatever. We got let's just grab the acoustic then. We got how was my motherfucking week? Okay, how's my motherfucking week? Well, okay, so I've been talking about this on the podcast and I'll just refresh if this is a new to you thing. On March 6th of 2020, I signed with Yuck Yucks after not signing with them for many years, for 2 reasons. I wanted to utilize their nationwide infrastructure to garner a large base of fans, and then I also wanted festival representation. So then the pandemic hit, and whatever, shit hit the fan, and fast forward 2 years later. Now we're back. Comedy clubs are opening up, and it's time. And the corner's back opening up, and it's time for me to decide whether I want to continue down the Yuck Yucks pathway, or if I want to continue to work the corners. So Mark Breslin was out there. He's the guy who started Yuck Yucks. He's the Jim Carrey knows him personally. These are. This is a guy who. Norm Macdonald, rest in peace, went through his system. Everyone did. Russell Peters. Everyone who is a Canadian comedian went through his system. So I too, I fucking put on my badge. I fucking put on my Yuck Yucks badge, and I said, fuck it. I'm walking in the footsteps of the men that walked before me, men and women who walked before me, who are successful and whatever. And I wanted festival representation, and I wanted to go be a national touring headliner, whatever that means. And then the pandemic hit, and now it's, fast forward, like I said, 2 years, and we're back, and there's an exclusivity clause in Yuck Yucks, which means if you work for Yuck Yucks, you're not allowed to work for any other stand-up comedy club. You can do your own one-night gigs in towns that Yuck Yucks doesn't operate, and you can do independent shows, bar gigs in town, and places like... theaters, small, independently booked theaters, but anybody that brands itself as a comedy club, like Absolute or The Corner, you're not allowed to work there. Which is whatever. We could talk about the economics, the economic decision behind that, which might have made sense, in the 90s or 80s, but I don't know if it's truly is a thing now. But it came down to it where I talked to Mark in the alley. He asked me if I wanted to continue to work with Yuck Yucks, which I do. I have no disrespect on Yucks. I think that's a huge institution, a Canadian institution, and to be considered to be part of that is great, man. Like, that's a huge, awesome thing. It's validation for sure, and it's just it's just one more step along the way. So I told him I did want to, and I was working the corner that night, and he knew that, and I said, yeah, and you know, moving forward, I do want to continue to work for Yuck Yucks, and yeah. Then a week goes by, and I'm booked at the corner again because I had already arranged this stuff. And then on Thursday, and now Joe, I have a thing. I want to, you know, I've been offered a Thursday show, essentially a residency at the Corner Comedy Club every Thursday in perpetuity now. So how can a guy, not take that up? And it's monetarily speaking, it makes sense for me as well too. Hopefully, it makes sense for all parties. Which I think it does. And, you know, I got an email. I was like, hey, he's like, I saw you're on the corner roster this weekend. You're booked this weekend at the corner. Do you still want to work for Yuck Yucks? And then I worked the weekend that corner. I took a little bit to think on it because then, you know, it's like, I want to work at corner. I would prefer to work at corner I wouldn't prefer to work there, but I feel like right now where I am in my life, it's like I need to do as many sets as I possibly can, and being on an exclusivity clause in a pandemic doesn't make where we're having, you know, show restrictions. There's limited capacity. There's hesitancy for booking in the future due to an unknown, you know, policies that may be enacted, shutdowns, whatever. So, you know, people are hesitant to spend that money on entertainment if it's going to just get fucking taken away again like it has 4 times. So, you know, it's hard right now, and to have a permanent, you know, residency at a comedy club that's, you know, my home and the place that I came up in Toronto, and you know, and the place where I met Courtney, and just everything good that's happened to me in Toronto has been because of that place. So, you know, I sent an email back and I said, hey, I'd love to continue to work for Yuck Yucks. Hopefully we can make an accommodation for the corner if I could work there, you know, on the weekday. And then if there's an odd weekend where I'm not working Yuck Yucks because I would prioritize Yucks, then you know, if we can make that accommodation. But if not, if that doesn't make sense for you, then whatever. And then I got an email back like, hey, like, you know, we want people who are stoked to be here and enthusiastically on board. And if that's not you, then, you know, whatever, that's cool. And, you know, if you want to ever come back, then let us know. And that's pretty much the best way that it could have gone, honestly. Because like I do, you know, eventually want to work there, or, you know, I don't know what's going on with my broadcasting career. I've got some cool things coming up now with some industry guys that are kind of getting stoked on me because I'm a little bit older. And, you know, it's a little easier to fucking hire a 32-year-old guy who's been in Just for Laughs than it is a 20-year-old intern who doesn't know shit. And I've already been on the radio a lot. So, you know, broadcasting is going to be the way. And then if I'm going to be a broadcasting guy, then being on the Yuck Yucks roster is going to make more sense for me, because then I can just, like, I don't have to think about it, and I can have fucking Alex Ross booking me. I can have old Alex, I love comedians, Ross booking me. So that's the end of the Yuck Yucks saga. I got fired from Yuck Yucks, which is like, man, that's a good. So did Jim Carrey and Howie Mandel and Norm Macdonald and Russell Peters. So I'm in good company. I feel like getting fired from Yuck Yucks is also like a Canadian badge of honor. Canadian stand up. Like, I got fired. I also got fired from Yuck Yucks. Like, that's also a good, cool thing. Okay, so promotional consideration for This Week with Drew is provided by our Patreons. Anthony, Blair, Joel, Nick and Mac, Bubba, Marnus, Bryce, Taryn, and in the motherfucking Hall of Fame, Colette and Andre, say their name. What up? Hi, Mink. Also, promotional consideration for This Week with Drew is provided by our sponsor, KingTutsCannabis.com. You can use the promo code DREW, DREW, for 10% off your order. And if it's your first time, bro, we'll give you an extra fucking 15er so that you can stack my promo code on top. That's 25% off, a quarter off your quarter, 2/8 off your eighth. KingTutsCannabis.com. Use the promo code DREW for 10% off your order. King Tuts Cannabis. Smoke like an Egyptian. Okay, and what else do we got? If you're on my Patreon, I was speaking of my broadcasting career. School is ramping up again, and I'm doing some homework now. We had to do a 90-second feature about whatever we want with 4 stories. So I did the 96.9 Humber Metal Minute, which I uploaded to my Patreon. So if you want to listen to the 96.9 Humber Metal Minute, you can. And that is featuring a song from our number one fan, Joel, who's also, you heard me mention, he's a Patreon, and he's the number one fan of This Week with Drew. It's the song that I used is called Dark Hour, and it's off their band Soul Runners album. So you can check that. Ghost Car, I think, is the name of the album. Or I don't know, whatever. I know there's a song. Maybe it's the album too. Anyways, they only got one album. So check out Dark Hour by Soul Runner on Spotify and also on the Metal Minute, 96.9 Radio Humber Metal Minute. Okay, so there we go. 10 minutes. What else do we got here? And I got homework, and I quit Yuck Yucks, and I'm in a band again. Max Phoenix is playing October 16th at the Bovine. Max Phoenix is a project started by another comedian in Toronto named Dan Gyrie. Dan Gyrie, you may know from the Danger Room, Misogynist Dick. So Dan Gyrie, amazing singer, amazing rock singer, not an amazing singer, a good rock singer. There's a distinction to be made between a good singer and a good rock singer. A good singer can hit notes. But a good rock singer, it can fucking wail, right? So, so we got Max Phoenix back up again. I'm really happy because we have another guitar player. We were a 3-piece on our last gig, just me on bass, Dan on vocals and guitar, and Artie on drums. But now we have another guitar player, Dakota, and we have a synth player named Adam, and they're both gnarly, righteous dudes. And we're totally all like in the same mentality, and it's just like pretty sick to like have some sick dudes to jam with. And Adam's a shredder, like fucking arpeggio. He's one of those fucking guys in a country picker too, so he knows what he's doing. And then Adam's got this Ableton set up with all the fucking sounds, tone matching to the album. And then now I'm the worst musician in that band. Because it used to be a tie between me and Dan, but now I'm definitely the worst musician in that band. So I'm just trying to hold down some simple fucking root bass lines and just kind of, do my end. I'm not going to get too fancy because that's when shit, I'll do some walk-ups and shit like that, but I'm not really going to flow around in the pocket. I'm just going to hit the fucking kicks and the snare and stay on the kick and, walk up to the next note. And that's going to be it, man, because it's too fancy, man. The album is too, I don't know. There's like electro sub bass on there that's really fucking hard to play. For me, at least, on a 4-string jazz, on the jazz bass, on the full-string jazz bass. So that's Max Phoenix. If you want to check out the album, it's called Knife City on Spotify and YouTube. And the band, if you're in Toronto, we're playing October 16th at the Bovine. And that's fucking it. That's the podcast for this week. Monday shows are much longer on Spotify. Make sure to check out the Monday show on Spotify This Week with Drew, the Monday edition. Also, make sure if you hit the little bell, man, for the podcast notifications, hit the subscribe. I can't believe I'm saying this. I never say this, but please do that, man. Just fucking do that. It helps if you're watching this. Hit like and subscribe. Like and subscribe. Breathe and like and subscribe. And actually, I'm never gonna say that again. Fuck that shit. I'm doing this for me and for you. I'm out.